Hello, hello. Good evening, everyone. How is everybody doing tonight? I am doing very well. Actually, I'm still sick, but that's okay. Other than that, I'm great. Had a really good day, and I can't wait to tell you guys all about it. I'm super excited. It was super awesome. Hey, Queen. Jerry. Hello, hello. Hello, Ryan. Good to see you. So, yeah, it was super awesome that first of all, because there's a lot of different, it's a big building, but you could go in a lot of different ways and be really far away from where you need to be. And Mr. Snotty dropped me off right where I needed to be. That was perfect. Hello, Kentucky woman. Good to see you. Um, so that was really cool. And immediately I saw Justin Lum was looked like he was live, probably with Fox, where he works. I don't really know for sure about that, but and then right then Nate Eaton walked up. And I totally was like, okay, I'm not trying to be like some kind of weirdo and like harass him and stuff, but I did go up to him and he's so nice. Okay. He is so nice, you guys. Seriously. Mr. Snotty said, is he as personable as you would expect him to be? And I said, 100%. He totally is. He was so nice. I know. It was so cool. I couldn't. And even when Justin Lum got done and came over there, he introduced me to him. I know, just like you would think. I'm like, it's weird. He was like asking me questions. I told him how much we love watching The Secret Santa and his coverage of this case and everything, how much we really, really love him over here. And so I ended up going in with those guys and went to rode the elevator with them, went all the way to the courtroom with them. So super awesome. And honestly, I felt really dumb though, because I don't want to be somebody who just trying to harass people like that. Um, yes, yes, Jerry. I kind of feel like he doesn't want. I mean, I think he has a good situation. Obviously I have no idea. Clearly, I have no idea, but um, absolutely, I believe that too. Totally. Um, I really kind of wanted to just go and sit with him, but I thought, no, I'm not. I'm not going to do that. And they set up front right behind the state, and I sat in the very back, which I think there was only like 3 rows. So it wasn't like really far. And then I was totally surprised because then Lauren came in from Hidden True Crime, and then right behind them, some other people sat down, and I heard her saying that she remembered seeing them in Delphi. So I don't know who they were. I didn't recognize them. The rest of my row ended up being like the state's paralegal and people that were, on their computers, and they actually were called up at one point to give something to the judge or whatever. So afterwards, I was like, again, if I could see Lauren, I would love to say hi to her. But when we came out, they stayed in there for a while. I didn't want to be weird, so I went outside and let Mr. Snotty know that he could come get me. And I'd kind of walked around down there. I was kind of thinking I would try to find a coffee. And I ended up passing Justin Lum, and he said, "Nice to meet you and have a good day," and all that. It was really cool. But then Lauren was live in front of the courthouse. So, and as soon as she got done, Mr. Snotty had just pulled up to get me. So, yeah, so nice. Like, I was really excited about it. And yeah, Lori, let me tell you guys, when she came in there, she came in all bouncing around, laughing and carrying on. She thinks she's so cute, you know? And that's the thing. She loves this. She really loves this. Hey, Devious. Yeah, the judge actually looks better in person. Honestly, he does. He's pretty hot. I'm not, I mean, he is. And some of the stuff said today, I was like, oh my God. You guys got to hear, like, judge totally was like, well, it's not like you're going to be released out of custody or anything. Like, oh my God. I love some of it. But she totally, like, her sleeve was all hanging down, like drugged down, right? Like, what is she doing? She loves this. She totally loves this. Some of the crap that she was saying was so, I mean, it was actually being live streamed. Fox 10 was in there. And she likes that, you know, she does. But it's a really small courtroom, super small. So I don't know. I mean, I was not that far from, I sat on the other side at first, and then the clerk said, this side is for anybody here, for, you know, the defendant, and over here. And I was like, oh, I better move. I can't be sitting behind like I'm here to support her, because I don't support her, obviously. She does. She 100% does. Yeah, I'm not kidding. You really feel like going up to her and saying, "Stop it." Though, I mean, you guys, I don't know. We'll play the thing, but like the way she's talking about Tylee and stuff, I'm like, you have just got some nerve, you know? And she's like, so like in the past, you know, like, you know, they just zoomed in on my face. That's all. Like, stop. I know. Kept giggling and caring. Yeah, that's how she acts. And it's weird the way, so I guess she just thinks that she doesn't want to, all I've heard is that she doesn't want court TV in there. She definitely wants cameras in there. She wants cameras on her. She absolutely does. She does. It was dumb. Some of it. Right behind her was, yeah, so there's 3 rows. Yeah. It was pretty full. It was actually full. 3 rows, and like the first 2 only has like 4 chairs. And then the last row has 5 or 6, maybe. It's not big. On her side, right behind her, was the attorney for court TV. And then right next to him was somebody, I don't know who he is. He seemed to maybe be an attorney. But when he came in, she was like, you know, gesturing towards him. And then a couple times they were kind of trying to talk. So she knew whoever that guy was. He wasn't sitting at her table, just right behind her. And then there's no one in the middle over there. And then the very end, it looked to me like maybe it was probably some kind of media, like maybe newspaper or something, Arizona Republic, something like that. They didn't act like they really cared too much. So super immature. That's exactly right. Yep. Mm-hmm. she said, she mentioned, because she asked the judge whenever, for logistics, she wanted to know, like during the trial, would she have to sit, stay at the table, or could she go to the podium to examine her witnesses, right? And cross-examine. She loves saying certain words, right? She loves throwing out case law, all kind. Wow. So, hey, Frazzled. But what she had said was, do I have to just stay here with my shackles and my shock vest on? I don't know about the shock. He never said anything. He said, you can sit at your table and you can go to the podium. But if you need to give a witness an exhibit, your her assisted counsel, the people that are helping her, would have to give them the exhibit. She's like, what about my paralegal? See, that's the whole thing about it. See, she won't just, nothing can just be let go, right? Well, a couple times today, she was shut up. And I love that she was, because really, yeah, it was pretty good. That's the thing she was asking about. If the other trial doesn't start by, she just pipes out, May 11th, judge. Her right to a speedy trial, that won't work if she doesn't have it. And he's like, well, we're not going to have two trials going at once. And it's not like you're going to be released from custody. Yeah. What about that? Yeah, a shock vest. I never heard of that. You could see the shackles on her feet and her hands and stuff. Yeah, I don't know. I still don't know what it really is. I should look that up. Yeah, let me see. I was surprised to hear her say that. Like, she wanted people to know. Um, hmm. It didn't pipe right up. I'll have to look that up more. That's what I'm saying. How did she get it off the shoulder? Yeah, I was wondering that too. So intentional, right? Like, you can just tell. If you saw how bubbly she came in there. She's thoroughly enjoying this shit. She really is. Which doesn't surprise me. Oh, wow. What? Oh my God. Nate's doing Courtroom Insider right now. Holy crap. I tried to look to see if he had something scheduled and he. Shoot. Well. Oh my God. Hold on. Get in here. Get in here. Shut up. Not doing that. I'm going to have some of this go fast and stuff because it'll take really. It actually was over pretty quickly. Yep, frazzled she did. Oh, that's why this is a whole reason she wants to represent herself so she can make a show. Oh my gosh, I know. Mr. Snotty's eating dinner, and I'm like, Urgh. I told him the other night after he got home for so long, I'm like, you get dog duty for a while because I'm about irritated with these guys. Yeah, look at this. Look how she has that shit hanging off her. Come on. I mean, does she really think that the thing is, even if anybody thought that you were cute, they don't. I'm pretty sure they don't. But after the things that you've done, can you seriously stop it? Well, and that's just it, Kentucky woman. You know, we've talked about this. Like, I don't know if you watched Daryl Brooks defend himself. And let me tell you, it's really like that guy was something else. That judge had such patience with him. I do not know how she managed that one actually, because that guy was that was bad. But this is what's really hard about it is they have a right to do this, yet it's a tough call, right? Because it's so, to me, it's very disrespectful to the victims because she's going to be she's going to be questioning the victims. And how rude, you know? It just seems so wrong. I don't know how you get around it, but wow, it is. It's really, anytime I've seen anyone defend themselves, it is definitely, it's hard to watch. And I will say this. Oh, let me get my book. I did make a bunch of notes today. My book, Queen. Let mother-in-law know. This is what I took with me to court today. The judge did, or the prosecution did say that Kay Woodcock is a witness on the state side, because I haven't seen who the witnesses are going to be. Just in the middle here, I'm seeing things like such an attention whore. She's so stupid. I just have little things like that because I was like, oh God. Okay. But yeah, I heard they did mention Kay Woodcock. And they mentioned some people were there remotely, which I saw that happening on a screen, but I didn't know who it was, of course. But yeah, here she goes. Oh, shit. I pushed the wrong button. Dang it. Sorry about that.
Room deprive the defendant of a fair trial consistent with due process. So that and Arizona versus Cheney, which was the defendant is entitled to fair and impartial trial. Failure of the state judge in murder prosecution to protect defendant from inherently prejudicial publicity, which saturated the community to control disruptive influences in courtroom, deprive the defendant of a fair trial consistent with due process. So that and Arizona versus Cheney, which was the defendant is entitled to fair and impartial trial when publicity pervades court proceedings to the extent that the proceedings were prejudiced to the defendant. So obviously you read my objection, so I just wanted to add those on the record.
Okay.
Thank you.
Your prior attorneys had filed a series of objections to media coverage media being allowed in the courtroom, and I made a prior ruling that was filed back September 4th, which was fairly comprehensive. I am inclined to allow one pool camera. I'll issue an order with more detailed findings.
Yeah, how did she? I don't know how she managed to do that, but she sure did, didn't she? She actually is she's really small. In person, she looks a lot smaller than what like she did on the Dateline and stuff. You know, you can tell she can't have real makeup of any kind. I don't really know exactly how she gets whatever she gets on her. I've heard different stories, but I don't really know. And her hair is really dry and stuff. But she's doing what she can to be who she is.
Later today or tomorrow. But essentially, there won't be any media coverage during the jury selection process, and I'll put the reasons for that in the order. So that's, again, I'll issue a more detailed order later today or tomorrow. All right.
Your Honor, there's also the issue of whether Court TV will be allowed to live stream the trial, in other words, broadcast online in real time. Court TV would prefer to do that.
Yes. Okay. Actually, Colby did mention that when people were talking about how she looks bad. Colby said, yeah, that she got Botox. But yeah, her hair it does look like she dyes it. I think they have ways of doing something. And I don't know. Remember, didn't we hear like they do something with Jolly Rancher or something to make their lips look like they have lipstick or something? I don't know enough to talk about it. Yeah, they do something. It's not like good makeup. It's like lips. I don't know what all it is, but it's something that they work out in there. I don't know. She's got like a ponytail thing up on her head right here. She got it pulled up like that.
Are they able to do a 1 or 2 minute delay?
Certainly, we can certainly do that. I just want to inform you, Honor, however, that when we share the footage with the pool, we can't delay that footage. So your order would need to require that all media receiving the feed delay it by however long you wish to delay it.
And the camera, the pool camera would be simultaneously distributing that feed to whatever media requests it?
That's correct. We have the capability to distribute to up to 30 or 40 different media outlets, so we have plenty of bandwidth to do so.
So this screen right here, this had different things on it where it was people that were signed in remotely. And this little bit down here is actually the courtroom, which before they started, I kept seeing myself on there and I was like, I feel really weird about that. So I'm glad that really didn't show up. It got smaller because then they put more stuff on there, but that's a good thing. It felt weird.
It's prejudicial.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Let's get down to business on some of the
Your Honor?
Yep.
Could I just add that we want to make sure that the camera's not going to be zooming in at any level to get to our notes and the things that are going to be on the table. I also previously, what has happened before is that they just have the camera on my face the entire trial. So I think when the judge is speaking, the judge needs to be on the camera. When the state is speaking, they need to be on camera. If we can add that to the order, I think.
See, what do you mean? She's just going to run that, huh? Yeah, he kind of, without just saying shut up, he kind of stops on that. Well, I don't know what you mean about the old one. This one's been there a while. On Jefferson downtown. Yeah, he didn't. What?
Jefferson and Third.
Oh yeah, Jefferson and Third. That's been there quite a while. So I don't know if that's what you're talking about, Ryan. Oh, okay.
All right, well, my draft already includes that there'll be no zooming in on council table, anything on council table, or anything being handled, notes or that sort of thing being handled by any of the parties or the attorneys. As far as what they focus on, they'll be limited to focusing on the parties, myself, the witness, depending on the witness. I need to ask the state about that in a second, but they won't be allowed to broadcast any image of any juror. While I'm on that subject, let me ask the state, are you seeking any sort of protective order when a named victim testifies?
Not at this time, Your Honor.
Will you let me know if that changes?
Yes, I will.
Do you have do you have the names of your designated victim or victim representatives that might be testifying?
Kay Woodcock is a statutory legal victim and will be testifying.
Is that the only one?
At this time,
okay.
yes.
Okay.
For this trial, I should say.
For this trial. Okay.
No, they definitely, like he said, that's already, but see, that was already said, you know. She really wanted to talk about them zooming in on her face. That's what she wants to talk about. Because she wants them to do that, is what I think. I mean, I think that kind of goes without saying, but he already said that he had written all that up. Yeah, they don't. They don't. Nope, pink and orange. I know.
Let me ask
I know,
this,
right?
Are the parties ready to proceed around March 3rd, April 1st?
Yes. Yes, Your Honor.
All right, let me ask the state next. Earlier during these proceedings and past hearings, you indicated you thought the state's case in chief would take 2 weeks. You requested yesterday to screen for 6 weeks.
Your Honor, I did say 2 to 3 weeks.
Okay.
But I did say that while we had a defense attorney on and not Ms. Vallow herself. I am familiar with other pro per trials where generally the timelines are in excess of those with a defense attorney assigned. So in order to ensure that we aren't asking a jury later to stay longer than we pre-screen them, I believe it would be appropriate to screen them for 6 weeks.
So now that you're gearing up for trial and maybe you have a better idea, how long do you think your case?
Yeah, Ryan, that's what I'm assuming, right? She's got pink socks, probably has pink underwear. It looks like maybe, I don't know what's going on. She's showing bra or what, that vest. I don't know what the hell she's showing up there. But yeah, I was thinking that too.
Case in chief would take with a normal amount across. I know that's hard to estimate.
And again, I would say 2 to 3 weeks.
3 weeks?
That would be at the outset of it.
Okay.
Probably, yeah, 2 to 3 weeks.
Okay. Let me ask advisory council, if we do an questionnaire, would you be assisting Ms. Daybell with your laptop in going through the answers that are received?
Yes, Your Honor. I mean, assuming we do all of that, a lot of times the courts send us back to our office to go through that. So if we do that here, then yes, of course, she's welcome to use our laptops.
Right. My plan is we can do jury selection in the South Court Tower 5.
Yeah, Ryan, Queen really likes him. He is. I like him too.
FC. I know that the state has requested that the entire trial be held there. We can't do it. We can do jury selection there. I can give you rooms here for your victims and witnesses as need be that are outside this courtroom that we'll have. We can have them stream in if you want, depending on, I guess, who the witness is or who's back there.
And obviously, Your Honor, I don't know if the public will be attending this or not. This also is a little different in that even in the mornings, the jury is going to be potentially out here while the court is having morning calendar. If there's media out there as well, I'm just trying to protect the integrity of the trial by ensuring that the public, the media, are not interacting with witnesses at any time while they're out there. It's difficult when it's a very small hallway and very limited rooms just to put them in. Obviously, I need a room for the victims that's separate from any witnesses.
Well, we have on this floor 6 rooms, 5 or 6 rooms throughout. We have 3 right behind this courtroom, and we can utilize them as need be to ensure that there's no improper contact between media or the public in general and any victims or witnesses. We can also ensure that the jurors don't have contact. If that means we bring them up in a separate elevator and have them assemble somewhere else, we can accomplish that. So,
Oh, is it, Ryan?
my plan will be
Okay.
to do an e-questionnaire, remote questionnaire for the first 200 jurors. That questionnaire, I need to get a final joint pretrial statement with the list of witnesses to include the names of witnesses in that, but I'd like to send out a draft to everyone by the end of this week. Let me bring up my calendar. We would probably send that out to the first 200 jurors around next Thursday, March 20th.
Is it the way they send this? The first day they can send it out the 24th.
Oh, I guess they can't send it out.
So you can do it from the 24th to the morning 27th.
Okay, so we can send out that the 24th to the 27th, meaning it would be cut off on the 27th. The answers to those questionnaires would be emailed to the parties. That would give the parties the 28th, 29th, 30th, and 31st to go through those answers. We would meet on the morning of the 1st, discuss who needs to be let go based on those answers. Also on the morning of the 1st, a number of walk-in jurors that for whatever reason don't fill out the questionnaire in advance would come in to the jury room, the jury assembly room that morning and fill out the questionnaire. So that morning we'd also deal with those walk-in answers as best we can.
We have to meet the 21st. The initial-
Oh, that's right.
Did you guys hear that thunder? That was loud. It starts on the 31st. He said, what day did he say? Oh, he said he expects opening statements to start April 7th. Hey, Wendy. That was loud, huh? Dang. Yikes. Yeah, he feels like jury selection will be done opening statements on the 7th. That's what he said. She wants to be all stupid about this too. Of course she does. Yeah, this really good idea of what I'm going to do during the trial, though. I'll tell you guys about it.
Back up.
Anyway.
The initial answers for the remote, we're going to meet on the 31st. Let those people go. Whoever we don't let go will be told to report on the afternoon of the 1st. On the afternoon of the 1st, we'll be dealing with the walk-ins that come in the morning of the 1st. And the people that we haven't let go the afternoon of the 1st, that will be in person voir dire
Yeah, why if the 1st, though?
as needed. If we need to, which I anticipate we probably will, we'll do another 200 jurors on the 2nd. And if need be, we have another 100 jurors on the 3rd.
That next set of 200, that wouldn't be a remote question?
They don't
that'd
have
be
a
regular.
capability to do it remote. So we may have to, what'll happen is on the 1st, all those people, after they give their answers, will be randomized. The list will be re-randomized.
Oh, yeah,
As we
right.
proceed through the 2nd, those people get added onto the bottom of the list. So as soon as we get 12 jurors that qualify, that everyone's happy with, that don't have issues, plus probably 3 or 4 alternates. So as soon as we panels of 20 or something like that. I anticipate losing quite a large number of people just based on prior media coverage and people already having some sort of opinion about the case. I normally wouldn't include a defendant's name in the e-questionnaire that goes out remotely, but on this case, I'm inclined to, just because that's what we want to know. We want to know if people have heard about the defendant and whether or not they've heard about, or if they've formed an opinion about her or this case prior to that. Does anyone have an issue with that, State?
No, Your Honor, I think that that's a good idea. That's going to be at least one of the initial reasons to strike a lot of jurors.
My only issue with it, Your Honor, is that it could be bad both ways. Put the name in there. It's been my experience that people will say they haven't.
To talk. See what I'm saying? Okay, she just wants to talk. She can't let anything go that she doesn't have something to say about it. Right? I mean, that's the way I see it. Jeez.
Haven't heard when they know who that really is, and there's people that will want to be on this jury just for this purpose.
Well,
It's going to be complicated.
all the research indicates that these e-questionnaires, people are more likely to give honest, candid answers than if they're in a group of people and they feel sort of that peer pressure of what's a good answer and what's a bad
she's
answer.
defending herself.
Your name's going
Brian.
to come up sooner or later, so I'd imagine
wants
I
to
would
make a
prefer to
whole
just get
ass
it out in front of the potential jurors to begin with. My e-questionnaire is going to be fairly basic. It's going to focus on qualifications,
Yep.
the charges, the witnesses, and then obviously whether they have an opinion about you. Or for the people that make it past that level, we'll question them more thoroughly in person.
And like you were saying, as far as group kind of voir dire, in my experience, we went through 1,900 jurors in my last trial. It would be good to do individual voir dire if we can, than group voir dire, because things just in the voir dire and it disqualifies a lot of jurors.
I'm not opposed to that, but
See, like she knows shit like this. See, this is, I can't stand it. I can't. Again, she has to say something to everything. So she has like co-counsel. Yeah. People helping her that are actual attorneys. So annoying. See, she can't just let people learn things during it's like, stop. All of these things are things that happen in every trial, okay? There are going to be people who just want on there. Well, you know, if people are going to lie, they're going to lie. You know, exactly right, Frazzle. That's exactly right. She does. She cannot let anything go. You know, cameras are on, people are watching. So I have got to, they need to hear my voice more than anybody's. Yep. Oh, is there? Okay. Thank you.
that's going to be sort of a day of play it by ear sort of situation, whether we do small panels or just go a single person. If we go single person, our jury selection could extend into the next week. But if we're able to seat a jury, I would expect opening statements on April 7th, somewhere around there, which is indicated. I have it. All right. When can you file a sets forth all your potential witnesses and a statement of the facts?
Probably by Thursday.
All right. Does the state anticipate any presentation of autopsy photos or crime scene photos? In other words, I'm trying to gauge, I would usually put in a question about jurors may be required to view evidence that shows wounds or that sort of thing. Is there anyone that's unwilling to look at this type of evidence?
Yes, Your Honor. We will have both, obviously, with self-defense trajectory, and those injuries are very relevant.
Okay, so I will include
No,
a
I did
question
not.
about that type of evidence. Sometimes jurors don't want to look at that type of evidence. So, all right. Any questions or concerns about our jury selection, the proposed trial dates from the state?
Okay.
No, Your Honor.
Just so I have it clear, Your Honor, we're going to start on the 31st with jury selection? Is that
We'll be
correct?
meeting on the 31st,
Okay.
and then actual dealing with in-person jurors on the 1st, 2nd, 3rd.
Okay. Hey, Robert and I.
Let me ask advisory council, are there any dates that advisory council would need to be dark?
I am fine for April. I didn't hear back from Robert. I would think.
Please let us know, because in that e-questionnaire, I'm going to put in a proposed schedule. I don't know that I'm going to screen for a full 6 weeks based on the state's anticipated presentation, maybe 5 weeks. So into let us know the schedule into the first week or two of May.
As soon as I get an answer from him, I'll email your judicial assistant.
All right.
And one more time, Your Honor, so the remote question is going out on March 24th. All answers have to be back by the 27th, so we will get them on the 27th. Or
You'll either get them late the 27th or first thing the 28th.
Okay.
In the morning, late morning, on the 27th.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
So I'll-
You should get them some point on the 27th.
just so we can plan, because it sounds like we'll just go out to Estrella and go through these.
Yeah, they're closing it at like 8 AM on this one.
You'll have to have a internet connection.
Yeah,
out
we
there.
can use
Okay.
our laptops out there.
Okay.
Because you want to be ready to discuss
Wow.
everything on March 31st.
Yeah, and if the parties have an obvious, there's some jurors that are going to be obvious that need to be let go. If you're ready for that, that's always helpful. I know
That
it's a little
sounded
bit more
crazy.
difficult with pro per defendant in consulting like that. All right, let me get to,
So we'll come out on Friday. And go through the questionnaire. We don't get any questions on that.
all right, the defendant
I
had
can hear all
filed
that whispering.
2 separate motions for specific discovery. The first dealt with communication between the assigned deputy county attorney and law enforcement agencies. I've read and the second one was, well, let's deal with the first one. I've read the response from the state. Basically, your response is you have disclosed all those communications. There are no other communications.
Correct, Your Honor.
All right. So let me ask the defendant,
Yeah, we received 6 email communications, and they were in a short time frame, not the full time frame. And it seems to me that in the last email ends in kind of a question that was probably answered, and then there's like no more communication. So it doesn't make sense that there's no more. We asked for all of them if they could be provided to us. We don't understand why they're not being provided to us, and what the state is possibly hiding at this point, and they can't just turn it over so that we can go through them. It's been, long over a month since we filed that motion. So we would just like them to please turn over whatever they have left.
all right, and
I've heard in several of the hearings here that they have given her everything. They've said that several times, but she actually is always saying this. And I was a little surprised at what she brought up here. No, Colby was not there. And I know that I've heard some of her hearings, her mom and sister were there, but there was nobody there today. What was I going to say? Shoot. Oh, you think that's a jail though? Isn't Jodi Arias in prison?
I'll ask the deputy county attorney. I imagine some communications are by phone. So in other words, we're not captured.
Correct, Your Honor.
All right. Based on the states of Vallow, I don't know. I can't tell them to turn over something they say they don't have. So I'll find that the state, based on their Vallow and officers of the court, have complied with the request. The second one is a little more, I wanted to get clarification on. That was defendant's request for video interviews, but it seemed like based on the state's response that there was some confusion about what's a interview recorded in an interrogation room situation versus a body cam. Did the state's response?
So the body cams were turned over, and they're in like 12-minute. There's like 4 different body cams. This was a full 2-hour video that was released by Gilbert Police to the public, and it's online. So I would like that video of the interrogation room, the full 2-hour one, to be turned over to the defense.
Oh, yeah, they mentioned something about Estrella, but I wasn't sure what they meant with that. Yeah, I don't know. Isn't that a jail though too? I don't know. I'm not. Okay. I'll unlock the front door. I know I would love to give him a hug too. I was hoping I could say something to Lauren, because I know that her and Dr. John have been really, really good to Colby, and I really like that. Yeah, Ryan, honestly, I don't know though. I really don't. Woman's jail is Estrella. See, I don't know. But I thought it was a jail, not a prison. But honest to God, I don't mean to talk like I actually know. Right, Queen? That's right. I think so. I love that. I love that.
All right, so do you know what that is?
Your Honor, based upon the defendant's reply, she's requesting a video interview from the 31st. Those are on body cam and were turned over to the defense. We have requested everything from, I think that one was from actually the Gilbert Police Department. A lot of these overlap. So I am not sure what the defendant is.
Who was the person being interviewed? And you said the 2-hour interrogation that Gilbert released.
So it's myself and my daughter, Tylee Ryan, and Melanie Gibb.
And is that in an interrogation type room?
Yeah, it was at the Gilbert Police Station, and I didn't realize we were being filmed that whole time. I didn't know we were being filmed, but we were being filmed in that room.
And are you familiar with a video in a room?
Okay, so what I want to say about this is she says, okay, first of all, anytime you be in question or that was an interrogation room. I know exactly which one she's talking about. Why you don't know that you're being recorded, first of all, okay? Of course you are. That's completely stupid. Secondly, I'm not sure what she's talking about because she's saying Gilbert. But that seems, I mean, Gilbert was the Brandon situation, which I don't believe she was ever questioned about. I mean, not in Gilbert. Nothing that's out on the internet, like she's saying. But, I mean, Charles was killed in Chandler. But how dumb of her to say, I didn't even know I was being recorded. Of course you were. You're recorded every time everything you do at Walmart, everywhere you go. So just stop it. And she says it again, like she has to keep throwing those little giggles in, It gets on my nerves. Exactly. How dumb is that? And she's saying it's out there on the internet, so go get it. Like she just irritates me so bad. Like an attorney wouldn't say all this nonsense, right? She is. Seriously, she just wants to. That's why I'm telling. Oh my God. Okay. She just wants to be talking. That's it. And just gets on my nerves because, the whole thing is, this isn't a game. People died. People were murdered, okay? There's nothing funny about any of this. And this is what's very hard about somebody being allowed to, represent themselves, because they make a fucking mockery of the whole thing when people were murdered. Right. Well, and for her, basically what she says is, court TV gives her bad press. Is there somebody out there, is Law and Crime giving her good press? I mean, who's giving her good? It is a game. It is a game. 100%. I don't even know if I will be able to stand watching her cross-examine Kay. I don't know if I can take it. Like, that's going to be hard. Yeah, she gets her ass shut down here, though.
Room?
Yes, that's what we have disclosed, is an interview of, it is
And you're saying you don't have it?
defendant, her daughter, and
I can't keep having all
another.
this.
And you haven't gotten that?
They have given for about 12-minute body cam videos of the policemen. They go in and out of the room at different times. So there's different body cams. They're all mixed up. It's not the full entire one. And my understanding is that the full entire 2-hour interrogation room video from the ceiling is available online, but I don't have it in Discovery.
That's what I'm trying to clarify. So did the state disclose not a body cam, but an interrogation from up in the corner of a room vantage point?
We disclosed a lot. Let me see if I can find out. We did. Yes, my paralegal is present here as well, and she has advised that we did. Your Honor, we disclosed over.
Can your paralegal provide a Bates number or something so that maybe the defense just has overlooked it?
Let me see if we can find the actual
Or maybe the discovery notice.
discovery letter.
Yeah, I was sitting next to a couple seats down from the paralegal, because that's who got up to go and give that to her. So April, yeah, everything says the 31st, and then they did say they're meeting up that day, but they keep saying the 1st, so I don't really know. It's weird. Really? Oh my God, you guys.
Okay.
Yeah, I was hoping they wouldn't. I don't think they did. April Fool's Day. That's funny. Yeah, that's funny. I know, Ryan. That's what I'm saying. Exactly. The firing line. Right, Frazzle? For a second they did. If she turned her head a minute ago, I will try to pause it on that if I see it.
Your Honor, all we do have is the 4 body cam. We can ask again and see if they have a overall.
Are you getting this? Have you seen this, or someone told you that there's this video?
My mitigator showed me part of that video. Yes, with my previous team. That's how I know about it. Otherwise, I wouldn't know about it. And she said, "Do you know this is online?" I didn't have any idea.
And you're sure it's the
Okay.
Gilbert PD on that date?
Correct.
All right, I'll ask the state to.
See, I'm glad the judge even said, "You're sure it's Gilbert PD?" Because I'm surprised to hear that I don't think it is. That actually doesn't make any sense.
Follow up with Gilbert on that.
We will, Your Honor.
There, if that is out there, obviously it should have been disclosed. All right, remind me to follow up on that next time we are together. Next, I have a motion in limine, two motions in limine, one regarding Alex Cox statements and one regarding Kylie Ryan's.
Right, Ryan? That's what I'm.
statements.
Hey. I'm. Huh? Yeah.
All right, so
I can't mute it.
let me ask the defendant. Generally, any out of hearsay is defined as
No,
any
I
out
don't
of
think
court
you're wrong.
statement
I'm pretty
offered for
sure
the
it
truth of the
is.
matter asserted. The state is referencing what are definitely out of court statements. Obviously, there's some exceptions to the hearsay rule, and there are other things that are characterized as non-hearsay. So how do you think, let's first talk about Alex Cox. How do you think the statements fit into your, either one of those exceptions or non-hearsay?
I feel like the state is blanketing that whole thing, and obviously it's like a case by case basis, right, on these statements. So there is the police interview of Alex Cox that I do not think falls under hearsay.
Why not?
Why does it not fall under hearsay?
Yeah.
We're not using it for the truth of the matter asserted. We're using it in corroboration of the circumstances. Everyone came in and told the same story that corroborates different facts in there, not for the whole truth of the matter.
Aren't you arguing that what he said was true?
I can't say whether another person says that it's true or not, but I'm saying what he said and what my daughter said and what I said in those 3 police interviews determined what the police said, how the police acted, what they did after that, their next steps, how they treated the entire case like it was self-defense. All of those are relevant to the defense that it was self-defense. So yes, I think they're for that purpose.
Yeah, and you went on to kill more people, okay? I think that maybe, see, listen to all this. What difference does it fucking make? See, this is what I can't handle with this one. Because listen to her. She's going to go back and forth with them about the timing of when people said things. What difference does it make? Whatever they said is what they said. And everybody's dead now. You can't talk, you can't ask them now. And let me tell you something. What she's going to do, Kentucky woman, is ask somebody a question and she's going to really fucking not like the answer. I'll bet you that. Because she thinks she's so damn cute. This little display right here was ridiculous. I cannot. This is all it gave to her. That's all it is.
But I also think that Alex's statements also have a lot of the exceptions apply. 803, 804. There's a lot of exceptions that also apply to some of his statements and not all of his statements.
Such as what?
See, 803 applies. See, she wants to keep acting like she knows case law and shit. You know, it's so fucking annoying to me. Okay. And that applies to some of them, but not all of them. So everybody, so you get to pick out which ones you like of his statements. That's kind of what it sounds like. I mean, it just doesn't. You just want to pinch her. Shut up. Just shut the fuck up, okay? You killed people. Are you insane? Shut up. You don't get to sit here acting like some little fucking trying to get a fucking boyfriend, okay? You killed people. That's crazy. Ugh. I mean, how do you ever do anything like any of this after you have killed your children, you sick bitch?
Which statements do you think they apply to?
specifically his statements made on body cam to police in the driveway, specifically his.
I don't know what the statements are, so that's what I'm asking. What specific statements do you think are allowed to come in under the rules of evidence?
I think under 8031, the present sense impression is his statements made to police officers at the house.
A present sense impression is where you're actually observing something and you're talking about it as you see it happen. So, isn't he saying, again, I don't know what the statements are, but is he saying what happened prior? Or is he saying
Yes,
something
prior.
that he's, okay,
Correct,
so it's not a
prior.
present sense impression.
Okay.
What else?
Then I think it falls under 8032, excited utterance. He was under the stress of the whole situation when he made those statements.
Again, so what? So what? Excited utterance? Are you fucking... Wow. Not kidding. I have notes here somewhere that says she just wants to hear her voice and shit like that. I'm pretty sure this is kind of about the time I was writing that kind of shit. Excited utterance. I can't. People might be a little excited when they just take somebody's life. That's kind of a thing. I know. I was sitting there like, I swear to God, I hate this woman so bad.
What was his demeanor when he made those statements?
Upset.
What's the specific statement?
I shot my brother-in-law in self-defense. I got hit in the head with a bat. There was an altercation. I don't know what all the statements are, but.
How long after the incident did he?
This right here is where it's going to get her ass. Right here is where it's going to get her ass. Because come to find out, they waited 45 minutes, maybe, actually, I believe it's 43 minutes before they called 911. So I don't know about excited utterance. I think you already gave yourself some time to settle down for you to hit the fucking road. Be out of there. And I don't know that you guys ever got very wound up about people dying. I'm pretty sure you just handled that quite well. So I don't know about any kind of excited utterance anywhere. At any fucking time. God. She is. She's so gross. Right? Oh my God. I mean, what are you saying? I just shot my brother-in-law. Well, that's what happened. So what, are you arguing that happened? Did you do it? Somebody fucking shot him right there. This blows my mind. But I do love, she does get shut down pretty awesomely in this little display that goes on here.
You make these statements?
Immediately after, as far as I know.
Well, immediately to some people it means 2 seconds. To other people it means 30 minutes. Tell me what immediately means to you.
As soon as the police arrived.
I don't know what, did they arrive 30 minutes after the incident? 10 minutes, an hour?
I was not there. I do not know what time they arrived.
See? She don't want to answer that one.
Let me, so you're asserting excited utterance. Some of these statements come in. What else?
8033, the mental, emotional, and physical condition, because it shows his state of mind, which was scared at the time.
Any others?
Yes. 803.
But again, if that's what happened, then that's just what happened. I mean, how are you arguing? Of course, typically the state of mind would have been a lot different than it was because there was no excited utterance. I'm pretty fucking sure you planned it. I know. I can't even believe she's saying this stupid shit here. I really can't. Again, if this is what happened, this is what happened. What do you want people to do about that? God, oh my God, it's so aggravating. Listening to her voice just makes me angry.
35B, the recorded recollection. I know that in the state's reply to my response, they did not think that 805 applied because A, B, and C, but I did not see an and after A. So my assumption was that B and C, since there's an and after B, were what needed to be put together. So B was made or adopted by this witness when the matter was fresh in the witness's memory and accurately reflects the witness's knowledge. So
Right.
I felt like 803B, 5B, the recorded recollection of his police interview and the body cam footage applies under that exception.
All right. Generally, 8035 is a recorded recollection, meaning it's something they wrote down, or maybe they recorded their voice.
The prosecution looks very irritated. You see her just toss that? Yeah. Because Lori's forcing her to have to say something here in just a second.
Saying something. Let me ask the state to respond. We're just talking about the Alex Cox statements.
Your Honor,
Maybe I should start with,
Yeah.
does the state intend on introducing any statements from Alex Cox?
Your Honor, I haven't decided if we will at this point. I can say with 100% certainty, we will not be admitting his interview by police that was done at after 10 o'clock in the morning. We don't,
Are you referencing what time he was interviewed versus the time of the incident?
let me say it this way. So the state has laid out in its motion the timeline. So that is actually in our motion. We show that when
8:30 a.m.
is when the
roughly.
911 call was made. So we have soon after that, the police arrived and there's body cam video from that interview. Then Alex Cox is later brought to the police station and there is a in-depth interview with detectives at a little after 10 o'clock in the morning.
So you may or may not be attempting to introduce statements at or around the time that the police responded.
Correct, Your Honor. If we do, those would be brought in as co-conspirator statements against a party interest. So obviously the state can bring in statements that are hearsay against a party.
Right. But I guess, is the state intending on introducing?
See, what does that mean, you guys? Co-conspirator statements. So who is that? This might get really good because who is that? It's got to be like Melanie Gibb, maybe. Sure, it's not man tits. I don't know, right? That part right there really got me. I don't know who that is. Maybe it's her herself. I don't know. Very interesting.
Any statements of Tylee?
No, Your Honor. Kylie made no statements at the scene other than giving her general biographical information on body cam. Her entire statements were made at the police station, again, after 10 in the morning.
All right. So on your response as it relates to Tylee, you say, again, present sense
Right.
impression. I don't think
Right.
it's present sense
Frazzled.
impression. You also argue excited utterance. What else?
8033, which is mental, emotional, and physical condition with the same thing, her state of mind, then being scared. And also 8043, statement against interest. They use that statement in the indictment where Tylee says that Charles says, if you hit me with that bat, you're going to jail. That's the part where she's nervous in her interview saying she's scared to tell the police that she's the one that brought in the bat. So state of mind and the statement against interest both apply to Tylee's
All right.
police interview.
She seems shook up right now, right? Mm-hmm.
All right. Anything else? Does the state want to be heard further on that?
Your Honor, the only further thing I think that the state will bring in is that obviously the defendant has been found guilty of killing both Tylee, other individuals, but in this case, the defendant cannot benefit from killing a witness and then later try to bring in their statements for their benefit. So in addition to none of her statements being admissible under the rules of evidence, as any of the exceptions that the defendant has done, we also believe that it would be improper for her to be allowed to bring them in under that theory.
Hear that? Yep. Boom. Exactly right. Exactly right. I was sitting there going, wow, I can't even believe I just heard this right now. Wow. Yeah. She forced it. Yeah, you killed the witness. Okay? Really? Oh, wow.
In other words, there's been a judicial finding that
Right.
the reason Tylee's unavailable as a witness is because of the defendant's actions.
Correct, Your Honor. There has been a jury trial and she has been convicted of that.
All right. All right, the court is on a preliminary basis precluding references to Tylee Ryan's statements, any statement made by Tylee Ryan. If there's some reason where a door might be open to any of those statements coming in, the defendant's requested to make a request outside the presence of the jury regarding that, and we'll deal with that outside the presence of the jury. On Alex Cox, I think that's probably going to be more of a statement by statement basis, but I'm skeptical of any statements coming in hours after the initial police response. I think we'll deal with what statements may or may not come in when the police
That's when she
first arrived on
wants it.
scene and or the 911
Yep.
at the time that they're attempted to be introduced. All right, I also received yesterday state's notice of disclosure and request for disclosure. Did you get a copy of that?
No,
You haven't seen that yet?
no.
I'm sorry, the
State's
I don't
notice of
believe her on
disclosure
that
and
shit.
request for disclosure. I didn't realize it was actually filed in January, so you should have seen that. I misspoke when I said I got it yesterday. It was filed January 16th. Have you seen that?
I'm looking into that.
What are we?
Dates
I
disclosure.
think the court may have ruled on that one, Your Honor.
Well, I don't think I ruled on, at the very end, you're requesting she submit to fingerprints, palm print, footprint.
Oh, that's okay. I think that was fired, yes, significantly. So that would be to tie her to any of her.
Is that for other conviction purposes?
Correct, yes.
All right. And when did you want to do that?
If we are going to be here on the 18th, we can take them then.
I don't know that we need to be here on the 18th.
And obviously, I was unaware we were going to set this because we set it
Right.
just recently. So I don't know if we can keep that on
I
just
think
to
she
take
shook
that.
up over hearing.
Okay, what
that
about the state,
co-conspirator.
you requested copies of any recorded statements made during interviews conducted outside of your presence? Is there any of those, were there any interviews conducted by you or your team? Of
So
any,
far?
were there any interviews conducted of any witness by you or your team that you're aware of?
So far, not that I'm aware of.
All right. Do you plan on calling any experts to testify?
We do plan on calling one expert.
Who's that? Has it been disclosed to the state?
We are, yes, we're working on that today as an addendum to the
Who's that?
witness list that, Lonnie Dworkin.
All right. That's your investigator?
No, my investigator, Jeff White.
Oh,
That's the expert.
what kind of expert is Lonnie Dworkin?
Phone and digital.
I think I remember his name. Are you aware of that?
No, Your Honor.
All right, expert reports and disclosures are due 30 days before trial generally under the rules, so if you're planning on using that witness, you need to get that disclosed
Yeah.
right away, and I may have to take that up depending on what the state's position is. But
Your
at this
Honor,
point, it's technically late.
Maybe another reason to be here on the 18th. Obviously, if that's disclosed this week, we can potentially address that issue on the 18th.
All right, let me ask the defendant, do you have a position on the taking of prints and photographs? Generally, identification type things are permitted over any defendant objections. So do you have a record you want to make on that?
Not really.
All right, I don't see any
For
reason
what
why,
purpose? I don't understand.
in the event that you're convicted, it may be used to prove other convictions. That reminds me, is the state planning on proceeding in the second trial, regardless of what happens in the first trial?
I believe so, yes, Your Honor.
And how much time would you need between the conclusion of the first trial and the start of the second trial?
Your Honor, I would say at least 30 days since we do need to actually subpoena out-of-state witnesses for the second trial.
I'm wondering if it wouldn't benefit everyone to
Bye.
go ahead and set that, a provisional second trial date now.
That's fine, Your Honor.
May 11th is still my last day.
Is that second trial,
Right.
how long do you think it would take the state to
Probably
present?
about 3 weeks as well.
Similar?
Totally shows her ass here.
Your Honor, I'd like to remind the court that the last day is May 11th.
Well,
She
I'll
thinks
probably
it's funny.
exclude some time based on the fact that you can't do 2 trials at once.
The state could combine the trials and do 2 trials at once, but they don't want to do 2 trials at once. So it really violates my speedy trial rights if they do not give me a speedy trial by May 11th for both cases. Not to mention that they did combine all the discovery into one case. They didn't give me 2 different separate
hey,
discoveries for
Tiny.
2 different cases, which would be much more convenient considering the voluminous amount of discovery that they piled onto us.
Does the state want to do combine both cases?
Your Honor, if the court gave us a little time to work it out and the defendant wants to join them, I mean, obviously,
I don't know that
the normal attorney, and I don't mean that in any way, normally they would be
Do you love that?
severed.
severed because you don't want one jury to know about the other
Correct.
2 separate charges and have a harmful rub-off effect of the evidence in one case affecting the evidence in another case.
Correct, Your Honor. That's why they were filed separately. But if the defendant wants them together, the state would have to request this be pushed back slightly so that we could then get all the witnesses for that trial together, since they were not subpoenaed for this trial. But if that's what the defendant wants to join them, and she understands that prejudice and that she's then going to be waiving that prejudice with that, then the state is certainly willing to do that. But we would then have to request to have that trial or this trial date moved back to allow us to get the other witnesses lined up.
Look at, she acted like she wanted it, right? Watch this.
That was not, that's not what I was saying to combine them. I'm just saying, give me my second trial by May 11th. So
Right.
the court can figure that out.
All right, well, I'm going to waive some time on that second trial over the defendant's objection. Primarily, again, the defendant can't try both cases at the same time. Secondly, I'm not sure how much actual prejudice there is with a time violation in the sense that you wouldn't be released from custody anyway. And thirdly, the rule for time violations under Rule 8, I think it's 8.6 is that any violation should be a dismissal without prejudice unless there's an actual prejudice shown, in which case the state could just refile the charge. Regardless, I think some time is warranted
love
to be
that.
excluded because primarily you can't try 2 cases at once. What if we set a start date for May 12th? I realize that's could potentially be a quick turnaround, but again, I don't think this case is going to take 6 weeks.
Your Honor,
We can adjust that as necessary.
I, again, am going to ask for a longer time. I believe this will go through the beginning of May. And
I
to
know,
have the
right?
state try to get those witnesses lined up and subpoenaed while in trial, I don't believe is.
Well, if I push it out any further, the parties need to be aware that I won't be trying the case. I don't think I would be anyway. I'm rotating at the end of June. And given some of the trainings I have to attend in June, I don't think we can get it done.
Well, both parties could send out subpoenas now for that second date for May 12th, correct?
Well, that's assuming we're done by about May 1st, probably, in this case, the first case.
Can you believe that? I would like to do them together. Oh,
And then, Your Honor, I did
No, I
indicate
don't
that
wanna
the
do
state
them
needs to be
together.
dark in May, the 21st, 22nd, and 23rd.
thank you.
You said 21, 22, 23.
Correct.
Of May.
And I would need to be dark the 19th, 20th, and 21st as well, so.
So given that we would be dark that entire week anyways, it really doesn't make a whole lot of sense to.
All right, sorry to interrupt. Let me speak with the criminal presiding judge about scheduling the second trial. We can discuss it on the 18th. Let's keep the 18th, but let's move it to later in the morning. Actually, let's move it up. All we're going to do is discuss a couple of matters, and then there's no reason for the fingerprinting and stuff to be broadcast or on video, so I'll prohibit that from being recorded or otherwise broadcast. So have your person here. Let's do that at 8:15 a.m. on March 18th. And then we'll also discuss whether the defense is disclosing Lonnie Dworkin as a witness and whether or not he has a expert report prepared and disclosed at that time. I will have the questionnaire for you by then, so you can review it. Anything else we need to discuss that I've forgotten about from the state's perspective?
Your Honor, I showed two other motions that the defense filed that I did not see rulings on by the court. They were both motions to dismiss. One of them only related to the 2022 case, I think. No, I'm sorry. Both of them related to both.
What's the filing date?
January 14th for one of them was an 8.2 speedy trial one. And February 4th, which was an extradition rule 8.3.
Yeah, I don't know about.
February 4th.
I don't even know how much more.
Okay, so the motion to dismiss CR 2022-001242 for lack of speedy trial, I ruled on January 24th.
Okay.
That minute entry was filed January 24th. And then the motion,
That just seemed to get.
was that the motion to dismiss CR 2021 and 001704 and the other for violation of Speedy Trial Act?
Correct.
That was ruled on February 25th, so last week.
Okay.
A week ago. Anything else from the state?
There you go.
Anything else from the defendant?
Yes, Your Honor, I have one kind of housekeeping matter that I wanted to ask you about. I know that MCSO has some security restraints, the things that I have to wear during
Yeah, here
trial.
we go.
And
I meant to.
I wanted to ask about that as far as, am I going to be able to stand at the podium to talk to witnesses, to question my witnesses and to cross-examine? Or am I going to be able to move about with the leg thing and the shock vest and all that?
You're going to stick to your table and you can go to the podium. Okay. When you're giving your opening statement and closing argument, you'll stay by the podium.
Okay.
And if you need to hand a witness an exhibit, your advisory council will do that.
Okay. Or my paralegal can do that too.
Well, is your paralegal going to be present here designated as your, I guess they can be present. I'd prefer advisory council to be the one that approaches witnesses if you need to hand an exhibit or something like that.
Okay, so I'm going to be standing there. And if she's sitting here, she's going to come get something from me and go walk it over to the witness and then come back?
Correct.
Just the logistics of it.
Yeah, and there'll be a table or a cart here that'll have all the exhibits on it within reach of the podium. So.
Okay.
Anything else?
Your Honor, do you use case lines for exhibits?
No.
Thank you.
I think they're still working out the bugs on that. So.
Do we need to have our exhibits in place?
All right, we'll see you at 8:15 on March 18th. Be at recess on this night.
It's usually like a day or
I just can't with her. I wonder if it shows her face again here.
All right.
No. I thought I saw her face one time though. Oh, look it right there. Right there. I'm not going to go on the 18th. I don't believe so. I'm going to go at least one day of the trial, at least one. Let me see if I can get a good picture of her face frazzled. Okay, I was going to say, I thought at one point that I saw her face. It's just so annoying. That's how, like, that is how nice, like, Nate Eden asked me if I was going to come to the trial. He asked me if I was cold because I had a sweater on. Like, he was just so nice. I don't know what he means that Lori wants him to testify. I want to see what that's all about. Yeah, Queen. Yeah. Definitely, you do want to. Let me see if... I haven't listened to see what Nate thought about or Lauren even thought about it. Let's listen to a little bit of what Nate said because he's done now. I'll speed it up.
From Arizona tonight. I am in Scottsdale, and oh my. What an interesting hearing this morning with Lori Vallow Daybell. All I can say is that buckle up for this trial because it is bound to be interesting. Somebody above me is making quite a bit of noise. I don't know if you can hear that. I'm going to go through it all today and also with you talk about what happened this morning at the trial in downtown Phoenix. Also, I'm on Lori's witness list. News to me. I'll talk about that here in just a moment.
Wow. See, how did he get that? Wow. I did not. Wow. I am definitely surprised to hear that. See, why is she doing that? So he won't be able to be in there? Wow. What does that... Oh my gosh. Oh, wow.
And also, I did some driving around the Phoenix area over the past day or so, going to some key spots that will play a role in this upcoming trial. We actually heard about them in the Idaho trials, but I actually want to show them to you as far as where Charles was shot, where Lori then went. One critical hour, we could call it, the day that Charles Vallow was shot. So we'll get to that. We'll also get to your questions. Before I forget, if you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, that would be awesome if you did. That is where we will be streaming Lori Vallow's trial coming up here in 3 weeks, less than 3 weeks. Well, jury selection is less than 3 weeks. So you can go to the YouTube channel, and I appreciate you following me wherever you're at. If you have a question, put it in the comments below, and I'll try to get to those a bit later here. So First, to set the stage for you. This trial is about Charles Vallow's murder. Happened back in July of 2019. Lori is also, she's charged with conspiracy to commit that murder. She's also charged with conspiracy to commit the murder of Brandon Boudreaux, her former nephew-in-law. That trial has not yet been set. Well, but we know as of after the...
Yeah, we did go to these, Queen. Yeah. All these spots he's talking about, we went there.
Hearing this morning that it's going to be relatively soon. And I'll get into that in a minute. So for this specific one, what we're doing right now is just Charles' case. Just so we're clear on that. And this morning, Lori Vallow appeared in court, walking in. You could hear her coming down the little hallway with her shackles and her hand. Her advisory attorney was there with her. And on behalf of the state, it was named Trina Kay. And Judge Justin Bursky is the attorney. And there were several items on the agenda. The first thing that was talked about today is coverage with cameras, courtroom coverage. Lori had filed a motion a few weeks ago that she did not want court TV in the courtroom. The judge... And there were several items on the agenda. The first thing that was talked about today is coverage with cameras, courtroom coverage. Lori had filed...
Yeah, right there. Wonder if she was able to get into... Oh, right? I know. Yeah, she totally has a lot of makeup on. This does look like different than before, right? I mean, there's quite a bit of makeup on. She didn't look good, though. I didn't feel like she looked that, like she had nice makeup on necessarily. She didn't look good at all. I didn't think she looked good at all in there. Oh, you should have seen her walking in like she was dancing, kind of, not dancing, but she was all kinds of happy when she came walking in. It was gross. Yeah, oh yeah, she giggling and carrying...
filed a motion a few weeks ago that she did not want court TV in the courtroom. The judge heard from Court TV's attorney, who basically proposed that they would be the pool camera, meaning all of the media outlets, there would be one camera in there, and all of the media outlets would use that camera as feed. And the judge said it will likely be on a 1 to 2 minute delay. So it won't be live, but it will be pretty close to live, which is awesome. As you know, sometimes you have to hold all the footage till the end of the day in some trials, in some states. Sometimes you have to wait 30 minutes. But it sounds like the judge will allow live streaming with a bit of a delay. And he's going to lay out all the order, all the rules in an order that he says he will release a bit later. So good news for the First Amendment, good news for us, for you being able to watch the trial. We will be able to provide that for you on East Idaho News. However, there will be no coverage of the jury selection. And so the judge kind of explained how the procedure is going to work. What he's going to do is let me just go through this. The potential jurors, around 200 of them, will be sent an e-questionnaire next week, or at the end of the month, and they will fill them out. And Lori Vallow Daybell's name will be mentioned in those questionnaires. The judge said normally he doesn't mention a name, but because this is so high profile, he wants to mention the name. And then out of those 200, those that advance will be called down to the courthouse, and they will do questioning on April 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. And it looks like opening statements will begin on April the 7th. So that first week of March/April will be happening with the jury selection. Okay. The other interesting thing to talk about is, so that we talked about the jury selection, we talked about the cameras, we talked about, well, I do want to mention also Kay Woodcock is she was joined via Zoom for the hearing, and so did Brandon Boudreaux. I want to mention they were there, but on Zoom cameras, which is a private feed. You're not allowed to join that feed unless you're part of the case. Okay, talked about cameras. Daybell, Lori Vallow did mention, well, let me just play what she said about having cameras in the courtroom.
We want to make sure that the cameras aren't going to be zooming in at any level to get to our notes and the things that are going to be on the table. I also previously, what has happened before is that they just have the camera on my face the entire trial. So I think when the judge is speaking, the judge needs to be on the camera. When The state is speaking. They need to be on camera. If we can add that to the order, I think.
All
it
right,
would
well,
be
my
great.
draft already includes that there'll be no zooming in on council table, anything on council table, or anything being handled, notes.
You're
or
not in
that sort of
charge
thing
here,
being
you
handled by any of the
stupid
parties or the attorneys.
fucking cow.
The prosecutor did mention there was talk about a courtroom. Now, this is a small courtroom. I think we counted there were 36 seats total in the courtroom. It's small, and it sounds like this is where the judge is going to hold the trial. The
It's
prosecutor
really
had
small.
asked to maybe move it to a larger courtroom with some rooms for witnesses, and the judge said that
I
that's not
know,
going to happen.
Basil, I know.
So please don't come. I say that with so much love. Please watch from home because there's only 36 seats, and those are going to be taken. That includes victims' families, and that includes like law enforcement. I mean, you saw in Idaho, there were some days there would be 15 to 20 people for that were family members and victims, and then the remaining seats were for the public. There's no special media seating in this one either. So if you can, watch from home and watch Courtroom Insider every night at 7:00 Mountain.
See, did you guys hear? He was talking about other rooms, and I wasn't really understanding what he meant by that, like the witnesses or the victim. I can't, because he really didn't say like a runoff like they had in. I don't know. I think, anytime I go down there, and if you come, Queen, I think it might just be like hanging around outside a little bit, right? Like it is going to be really hard to get in there. I can't even tell you how small it really, really is. Okay. That makes sense. Okay. All right, Jerry. I was going to say, I can't even understand exactly. I see now. Yeah, I think so, Queen. Yeah. Because it's really small. Yeah. I don't. The way she sits there and giggles and carries on, it makes it kind of hard to understand that you're literally sitting there with somebody with such evil. It's so hard because like I literally cannot stomach this woman. And she gets to sit there and say all this stupid shit. So aggravating. Were you, Ryan? I bet it is really small. Yeah, you're just, and the thing is, like, you guys, and I know I've probably said this way too many times, but like her brother Adam, he says, he says that he believes she believes the things that she's saying. I don't think so. She's straight just lying about every bit of it. This was all about money. All these people had to die for them to have the money they wanted. And she doesn't believe it. First of all, I really just want to shake people. Okay? If they really believed all this shit, what? I thought they had to be right there. When he moved his family to Rexburg, that was the specific spot, because he's a prophet and everything. And Jesus told him that's where he had to be. So the minute they pulled, forget, I don't care what religion you're talking about. God is never asking you to kill people. Okay. He's just not. And I don't believe, but of course what she says is they didn't, right? But the fact is, the minute they went to Hawaii, they proved they don't. Oh, she is. Yeah. Yeah, Jesus visits her every day and this and that. No, you need to just shut your mouth. Jesus is not down with you doing the evil shit that you have done. Period. End of story. And she does not believe what she's saying. Neither one of them did. I don't believe that. They went around acting like it. That does not mean they truly believe it. I've heard people say, she's just delusional. She's just evil. And people, we have to understand that she's not the first person that he pulled the whole "we were married in another lifetime." She's not the first one. That was his pickup line, this sick, twisted man tit motherfucker. Okay. And I mean, what else is he going to say? He doesn't work. He's worthless as tits on a damn boar hog. And people died in very suspicious manners before she ever met him. Yeah, I don't usually say things like that, Ryan. I don't normally, I'm not even, I really don't try to come down on people in things like that. But, once you kill people, no, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and call you man tits. You make me sicker than dog shit. I cannot. Him with all his, they went beyond the veil and this and that. They're full of shit. And they know they are. This whole thing that you were trying to do had nothing to do with getting married on the beach with the little ukulele. Shut right the fuck up. You killed people and went to the beach and had this little wedding like you're so damn cute. This had nothing to do with end of days or whatever the hell they say. I just mean that he's just gross. He's just gross. Look at, he's not attractive. And that's what I mean. So he had to say to people, we were married in another life. I mean, because who says that? And what woman has ever been taken in by that? Okay, that's stupid. Come up with all these, biblical names for themselves and everything. That's a bunch of garbage. I mean, he really had nothing to offer anybody whatsoever, except for if they wanted to buy this horse shit. It just infuriates me. It really does. It makes me so angry that right. See, there you go, Queen. You and I are in another world. Who says shit like that? That's not a line I would be all right. She loved the way he acted like she was a goddess. They knew what they were doing was about money. 100%. You'll never convince me that she is not just sitting there talking shit out of her ass. She knows exactly what she did. The people that died before she met Man Tits, guess what? What was that about? Of course, no, she's not being charged with any of that. But see, she makes all this shit up. Look at, she even wants to try to put all this on her daughter. The evidence doesn't match up with that the daughter killed JJ and then herself. No, it doesn't match up. It doesn't work that way. So she thinks if she just says some horse shit like this, it just makes her be able to giggle and carry on and act like a stupid little bitch. I cannot stand her. I cannot. And that's just it. I kind of wish that they weren't even doing this. Like, she has 5 life sentences. I really want justice for Charles. I do. I hate what happened to him. It was so gross. But there's a big, huge part of me that thinks that this show, because that's all this is for her. She's enjoying the shit out of this. Look at how she wanted to complain that, we could do both of these together. They don't want to. They don't want to. As soon as they say, fine, we'll do it. No, then she doesn't want that. See, no, because she wants to go ahead and be on TV, be live for the next 2 months. 100%. That's what she wants. She doesn't believe God told her to do any of this horse shit. She doesn't. She just says stupid shit all the time. Remember what she said about whenever he confronted her about when Keith Morris confronted her about the wedding bands. She said, "You don't even know, Keith. Do you know? Do you know?" And quite frankly, Keith didn't know enough, because guess what? He actually said, they were bought on your account. They were actually bought on Charles' account. Yeah. That's how a lot of this blew up, you guys. That's how a big, huge part of this blew up. Because Kay had all of Charles' stuff, and she happened to notice that there were purchases on Charles' Amazon account. She didn't go on Charles' Amazon account and buy Zulema and Alex rings. Shut all the way the hell up, But see, she has an answer for all this stuff, because that happened before Tammy died. So she has to pull some shit out of her ass. But actually, whenever Keith questioned her about that, I was like, come on, say it was bought with Charles, on Charles' account. Her dress, his linen outfit. I don't know who the fuck bought the ukulele. That makes me about as sick as I can possibly get. All right, I'm sorry. I went on a banjo. She makes me so damn mad.
Because that's what we'll be doing. The prosecutor was a little concerned. She did mention she was worried that the witnesses would be mingling with the media or the jurors. The jurors might be out. And so the judge said they will take some protective actions against that. But it sounds like this room is going to be the trial is going to be in this very small courtroom. Sounds like trial will be held every day, except the prosecution is requesting a half day on April 24th. The judge did ask if autopsy or crime scene photos will be shown in the trial, and the prosecution said yes, both will be shown. And because of that, the judge is going to mention that in the questionnaire. So if jurors have a problem with that, they know ahead of time to be prepared for that. Lori was taking notes with a little pencil and one of those little purple erasers on top that you stick on top of your pencil. She had a yellow notepad. Her hair was like kind of in a ponytail. She was smiley. She was chatting with her advisory attorney, whatnot. Typical Lori behaviors. She did get a little feisty talking about some evidence that she says has not been turned over to her. Video footage of her and Tylee and Melanie Gibb, I believe, being questioned. And here is that exchange.
The body cams were turned over, and they're in like 12-minute increments. There's like 4 different body cams. This was a full 2-hour video that was released by Gilbert Police to the public, and it's online. So I would like that video of the interrogation room, the full 2-hour one, to be turned over to the defense.
Sounds like she already saw it, so get it.
That is?
Your Honor, based upon the defendant's reply, she's requesting a video interview from the 31st. Those are on body cam and were turned over to the defense. We have requested everything from, I think that one was from actually the Gilbert Police Department. A lot of these overlap. So
I don't see how it's
I am
Gilbert.
not
I
sure
just
what
don't.
the defendant is.
Who was the person
That doesn't
being
make sense.
interviewed? And you said the 2-hour interrogation that Gilbert released.
So it's myself and my daughter, Tylee Ryan, and Melanie Gibb.
And is that in an interrogation type room?
Yeah, it was at the Gilbert Police Station, and I didn't realize we were being filmed that whole time. I didn't know we were being filmed, but we were being filmed in that room.
And are you familiar with a video in a room?
Yes, that's what we have disclosed, is an interview of.
It's in every fucking interrogation room on earth. Shut up. How stupid. No, I actually can't on this. What I'm using to stream right now, I can't have any panel. I don't have that ability. Sorry about that. I hate it. I don't have StreamYard now. I can when I'm on Rumble Studios, but not in YouTube Studio. I know it sucks. It's very different in here too. I don't love it.
It is
And you're saying you don't have it.
defendant, her daughter, and another.
And you're saying you haven't gotten that?
Okay, we went.
They have
through-
given 4 videos of the policeman's body.
Go back
and
and
we already went through all
check the
that.
file. But the interesting thing to me is when the judge asked Lori, how do you know the video's out there? He responds, my prior defense team showed it to me. So then wouldn't they have it? Unless I guess they could pull it up on YouTube or
See?
something, pull it up on a computer. Okay, now we're getting into a few motions in limine about Alex Cox's statements and Tylee Ryan's statements the
It
day that
doesn't
Charles
even
was
make
shot.
sense.
I'm gonna be honest. I wasn't quite sure what Lori was arguing, and I don't know if many people were. But there was some back and forth with the judge. Lori, it sounds like, does
weird.
not want these video interviews admitted into court. That these statements that Alex made the day that Charles died and Tylee made.
I don't know how.
I don't know
how to
further
have
explain
you
it other than to just play it.
gamble.
Let me ask the defendant. Generally, any out of hearsay
Screen
is defined as any
labs.
out statement offered for the truth of the matter.
Oh, I'll have to check
Asserted.
that out.
The state is referencing what are definitely out of court
Oh,
statements.
okay.
Obviously, there's some exceptions to the hearsay rule, and there are other things that are characterized as non-hearsay.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you think, let's first talk about Alex Cox. How do you think the statements fit
I want to
into
see
your,
what Nate thinks.
either
about
one of those
this.
exceptions or non-hearsay?
I feel like the state is blanketing that whole thing, and obviously it's like a case by case basis, right, on these statements. So there is the police interview of Alex Cox that I did not think
Oh,
falls under
wow.
hearsay.
Why not?
Why does it not fall under hearsay?
Yeah.
Because we're not using it for the truth of the matter asserted. We're using it in corroboration of the circumstances. Everyone came in and told their same story that corroborates different facts in there, not for the whole truth of the matter.
Aren't you arguing that what he
Did after that, how they treated the entire case like it was self-defense, all of those.
You know that attorney sitting next to her probably hates her guts. No, I know, Debbie. Don't you love that? She made sure to get her jailhouse, whatever, pulled down. I know. She does look ridiculous.
To the defense that it was self-defense. So yes, I think they're for that purpose.
What?
But I also think that have a lot of the exceptions apply. 804, there's a lot of exceptions that also apply to some of his statements and not all of his statements.
such as what? Which statements do you think?
She just
So,
wants to pluck out what she wants.
Specifically, his statements made on body cam to police in the driveway, specifically his.
I don't know what the statements are, so that's what I'm asking. What specific statements do you think are allowed to come in under the rules of evidence?
I think under 8031, the present sense impression is his statements made to police officers at the house.
A present sense impression is where you're at.
Because she is defending herself. That's why. Yeah, but this is pretty much where she gets told that since she murdered one of the witnesses, yeah. Right. But that's very true. I mean, if her attorneys had that, what the fuck? Yeah, I wonder what he thinks about that part.
Yeah, Tylee won't be there to take the witness stand. So interesting point there made from the prosecution. A couple of other things were discussed, including the prosecution wants Lori's handprints and fingerprints taken and photos taken of her, which they'll probably do next week. He said that they put it like in a database to see if if the person is.
Well, according to her, Top Hat, she's been asking for all this stuff and nobody's giving it to her. I've listened to several hearings where they say we've given her everything we plan on using. We don't know what else she wants. But like Nate said, it sounds like before she decided to represent herself, her attorneys had that. So they should have just she should have all of it in her stuff. She's the one who, like the judge tells her, she hasn't handed over the information on her expert witness and it's already late. But she acts like everything, she is so, I know. You should have seen her walking in, Debbie. She came in all bouncing around, laughing. She thinks she's cute.
Connected to another crime anywhere in the state. So we'll see if anything comes of that. She didn't necessarily object to it, but we then transitioned into scheduling about Brandon Boudreaux's trial, which sounds like it's going to happen pretty quick. Now, Lori, well, actually, let me just play this part too, where she is arguing about the scheduling of it. Too. She says her last legal date for her rights to not be violated.
For anybody
a couple of other minor things that came up, Lori.
For anybody who missed it, Nate starts this out saying that he is on Lori's witness list, which actually really pisses me off because that means he's not going to be able to be in the courtroom if he's testifying. What does she want from him? And it's so weird because it is because also he was definitely not at all involved with Charles. He got involved in Idaho with the kids. Charles was already gone. Right? It doesn't make any, I mean, can you imagine? I mean, her questioning him is just going to piss me off. I know it is. It's going to be some stupid game. Exactly right. Some game, some tactic. Maybe that's it, because it doesn't make any sense. And that is so messed up that he's not going to be able to be in there then. Oh, I cannot stand her.
Asked during the trial where she'll stand, how she can get about. She said without having to wear this leg thing and a shock vest, she will stick to her table, but she can go to the podium when she's questioning. And if she needs to hand an exhibit, her advisory council will do that. Excuse me. So she won't actually go hand the exhibit. The advisory council will do that. And that was today. The hearing was about an hour. You can go watch the whole thing on our YouTube channel. If you're into this story, I would advise that you should, because it was quite an interesting hearing. There will be another hearing next Tuesday, the 18th, that is apparently going to be quite short. And then the jury selection begins March 31st. And again, I'll be here for that, starting it off, and plan to be here every day during Charles's trial. And then we'll see if it goes into the next trial. I think the bottom line takeaway, how long is this trial going to be? Prosecution was saying we now need 6 weeks. They said, we originally told you 2 or 3 when Lori Vallow had attorneys, but now that she's her own attorney, we actually need 6. The judge seemed to say that was a little much.
She literally never looked at me once today. She did not. She didn't look at me, not even for a second. I mean, she looked around, but she honestly, I'm pretty sure she never even.
Time he seems to think it might be over in a month, and it all depends on how Lori plans to question witnesses, things like that. And speaking of witnesses, you're looking at one potentially. I hope not. I'll talk about that in just a sec. Before I get to that, I want to show you kind of a little video that I put together. The 1 hour of time, the day Charles Vallow was shot. I put together a timeline and I actually drove to the locations from the house where he was shot, Lori's activities in that one critical hour back in July of 2019. I had never been to the home where Charles was shot. I didn't go knock on the door because somebody lives there now, but let me just show you.
Yeah, Queen and I didn't.
Leading up to this, remember, Charles was concerned for Lori's health. He had been consulting with Adam Cox, who is going to be a witness in this case, in this trial. He had been consulting with him about Lori's mental health, and there was some sort of intervention. It sounded like the two were going to come together to get Lori help, and she seemed to know.
Well, that sounds like we
she
snuck in the
Alex,
house. No, we snuck in
the.
the.
I need you here. Alex canceled a trip, I believe, to Utah to stay there and go spend the night. Excuse me. Go spend the night at Lori's house. So here is a video of Lori's movements that morning in July of 2019.
This is the home behind me where Charles Vallow was shot and killed back in July of 2019. Beautiful house in a nice neighborhood in Chandler. At 7:33 that morning, Charles texted Lori, and then police say that his device was here at the house at 7:50. Yeah. So 17 minutes later, and then for nearly 40 minutes, the device left the home. Kind of on a drive to show you the movements that Lori Vallow went on with Charles Vallow's device, allegedly that morning, where that device ended up before it ended up.
Right, Jerry, exactly.
Now at 7:52 that morning, there was a voice call between Alex and Lori. We don't know what was discussed during that call. It seemed to be relatively short because Lori stopped at a fast food restaurant. 2 minutes after that phone call, Lori went through the drive-thru here at this Burger King around 7:54 a.m. Charles's device was pinged here at the restaurant around 7:55 a.m. So they were here for just a few minutes. Lori ordered some chicken nuggets, some chicken fries, according to a receipt that we have, some Sprite and a bottle of water. Think about it. While she's here getting that food, back at the house, about 5-6 minutes away, according to my records, Charles was dying, and Alex was there with him. Lori was here with Ty and JJ, and then they left the fast food restaurant and did one more stop before taking JJ to school. Charles's device arrived at Walgreens at 8:16 in the morning. Surveillance footage captured Lori purchasing a pair of flip-flops. She was here for about 4 minutes. She then left the Walgreens around 8:20 in the morning. Charles's device arrives here at JJ's school at 8:32. 4 minutes later, at 8:36, that's when Alex Cox, back at the house, calls 911 to report that he has shot his brother-in-law.
Police and an ambulance. What's the emergency there? I got in a fight with my brother-in-law and I shot him in self-defense. Okay, let me get the medics on the phone. And is he hurt or is he alive? Or? Yeah, there's blood. He's not.
No, it's actually in Chandler. Queen and I went there. It's way out south, actually. It's really far south. It's called. It's considered Chandler, but it's actually quite far south. I can't even actually remember right this second, but I don't get out that far south very often.
Not moving.
Not
How long
this.
ago did this happen?
Not
a couple of minutes.
Southwest.
And at 8:49, the device ended up back here at the house. Of course, we have seen that police body camera footage with Lori Vallow talking to the officers, with Alex Cox on the side of the road, dabbing his head, saying he had been hit with a baseball bat. And then Lori and Alex and Tylee were taken to the police station for questioning. And here we are 5 years later, awaiting Lori Vallow's trial.
I hope that kind of gives you an idea of where these things were happening. I drove that whole route in. Well, I stopped, of course, to get video, but you could probably drive that whole route in 20 minutes. That was in the afternoon when I shot it. This was in the morning. There may have been more traffic out, but the big thing to me was how long Alex Cox was at the home as Charles lay dying. Mm-hmm. And that was brought up this morning. That clip I showed you earlier, that was brought up this morning when the judge was trying to pin Lori down as far as the timeline and everything. So that again can show you where these things took place and what we can expect with the trial. Okay, let me talk about this witness list that Lori Vallow filed just a few days ago. This is a defendant's supplemental rule notice of defenses and disclosure. The defendant submits the following supplemental disclosure pursuant to Arizona Criminal Rule 2. The defense notices the following defenses. 1, insufficiency of the state's evidence. This is going to be her defense, apparently. Self-defense, defense of others, third party at fault, mere presence, and procedural. I don't know what mere presence defense is, but that is her defense. The defense notices the following witnesses. 1, the defendant. Sounds like Lori.
Oh, I'm dying to see who these people are on here. We were out south. We were south. God, I can't really remember. No, but I remember being very far south. Wow. Nate Eaton. I can't.
Wants to be a witness in her own trial. 2, any and all individuals, including but not limited to victim assistance caseworkers and or volunteers who have spoken with any witness in this case. Heads up. That's a lot of people, but she doesn't list them. All witness listed in the state's Rule 15.1 disclosure, as well as in any supplemental witness disclosure filing. Also, the custodian of records for any and all exhibits. And then me, Nate Eaton. Vicia, Ituahua, I'm so sorry, Vicia, if you're watching and I said your name wrong. She is Lori Vallow's, or Tylee's, one of her really good friends. Gabrielle Bonilla, I don't know who that is. Joseph Ponsgratz, I don't know who that is. Ashlyn Rind, she took.
Oh, wow. Okay. So her dad and her mom and her sister. She's calling Brandon? What? Oh my God. Wow. What a bitch. I know. What the hell? I'm telling you, the way she is going to question these people is going to have my ass on fire. I just know it. Brandon Boudreaux was married to her niece, Melanie Boudreaux, at the time. Can't think of what her last name is now. Oh my God. Oh my God, it's totally escaped me. But her niece, Melanie, same kind of shit. Her niece was right in the middle of all this with her. And Tuck's back. Oh, seriously. That's funny, right? But the next trial they're talking about is going to be somebody, which was Alex Cox, tried to, or actually shot at Brandon Boudreaux. There was an attempted murder on his life. Again, for money. It was all about money. Her niece had left him. It wasn't Chandler. I don't know what the hell she's talking about Gilbert about for any of it. Literally makes no sense, that part at all. This is wild, though.
Took the stand in the trial in Idaho. That was Tylee's best friend. Barry Cox, Lori's father. Zach Cox, Charles's son. Adam Cox, her brother. Janice.
Oh, right. Oh, she's calling Adam too. Wow. And his son. Oh my goodness. Wow.
Cox, her mom. Summer Shiflett, by the way, her last name is Shiflett, not Shislett. Her sister, and Brandon Boudreaux. The defense notices the following documents, photographs, and other tangible objects that the defense intends to use at trial. Any item disclosed by the state, insufficiency of state's evidence. I don't know what that is. Disclosure remains ongoing. Miss Daybell will supplement as necessary as this information becomes known to Miss Daybell. Why am I on the witness list? I have no idea. I didn't know I was. Justin Lum from Fox 10 in Phoenix let me know the other day, and then I got this document. But I have not been served a subpoena. And until I'm served a subpoena, from what I've been told by attorneys, I'm fine. Now, I'm in Arizona. for another little bit of time, and then I'm flying home tonight to Idaho. If Lori, from the way I understand it, Lori would need to issue a subpoena in Arizona for me, and then Idaho would need to recognize the subpoena, and then I would get served the subpoena in Idaho, and at that point, I would get my attorney involved to quash the subpoena. Sadly, I have been subpoenaed before. John Pryor subpoenaed me, and it cost us a lot of money. East Idaho News a lot of money to get it quashed. Adam Cox has said publicly he's going to be a witness, but I've spoken with a couple of others on here who had no idea that they were going to be a witness, and they haven't been served with a subpoena also. And this trial starts in 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks. So you'd think I would have a subpoena by now. But why does she want me subpoenaed? I have no idea. I have no idea. I did think, I've been thinking about this interview that many of you have said, if I could interview Lori. You think I should ask her to interview me? Ask her what she wants out of me? I don't know. Share your thoughts. That could be a really bad idea. Or it could be an interesting idea as far as what she says.
So there's
where the witness list stands.
He just said that Mantit's attorney subpoenaed him. Wow. I don't know what the hell. Tylee's friend. Can you imagine? I mean, that child's probably not. That is so not cool. What a. Oh.
For Lori Vallow Daybell.
Exactly, Queen. Exactly.
Okay. I now have some questions from you that I want to go through. Lots of questions after last night. We talked about reaction to Lori Vallow's
I get you're
Keith
probably
Morrison
right
on Dateline. And somebody asked about the ratings, and the ratings were huge. They were good. In fact, it was, I think, Dateline's highest watched episode this season, other than their premiere. So thank you to everybody who watched. My question sheet. Peggy, our comment moderator, has done a great job gathering all these from you guys. So let me open this up. Here we go. Sarah, Lori named you as a witness. Tell us everything. Well, I think I just told you. I wish I had more to add. Why she may have done it, I don't know. There is the thought that if witnesses can't be in the courtroom covering that or observing witness testimony, and because it might affect their testimony. I don't know if that's why she would have done this, but I'm still going to cover it, and I don't know what she would want to ask me. But that's really all I know, and I don't want to comment too much on it. Karen asked, do you think Keith really thinks Lori is intelligent, or was he just being politically correct? No, I think he really does. And I think she is a little bit of intelligent. Look at her. Look at her in court today. Intelligent can mean many different things to many different people, and it can be varied degrees of intelligence, as you all know. But she has some smarts about her. She definitely...
She's manipulative. Just because she pulls some case law and these numbers out of her ass, that's she's not smart. She's not. I don't think she's smart. She has been smart in the idea that, right, she's manipulative, and she has batted her eyes and flirted with people to get places, and that worked in her life up until she started killing people and getting caught at it finally. I don't know that anybody is really taken in by that shit now. I don't know. I wouldn't guess they would be. Exactly. That's exactly right. That doesn't make her smart. I mean, she has more time on her hands than on most people who are doing, life things, going to work, taking care of, doing dishes, all that. She gets to just spend all of her time working on her case. She's got these helpers helping her. Exactly right. That's exactly right. I don't think she's smart. I don't. I think she's stupid, quite honestly, because you know what's going to happen? Like Kentucky woman said earlier, and I firmly believe it to be true. She's going to ask a question. She's going to ask somebody a question, And that is not going, when they answer it, it is not going to work out well for her. Look at how she was stumped up twice today. I mean, literally, the dumb shit about she wants some of what Alex says, not all of it, emotional utterance. She obviously spotted that somewhere in a law book and just glommed up all on that. I don't think so. But you're absolutely right. She's going to open a can of worms because an actual experienced attorney does sometimes, and unintentionally. Look at that happened. I can't think of the exact instance, but remember that happened in Chad's trial. They asked something and that opened the whole door to something. And that's an experienced attorney that had worked years on it. She's gonna open a can of worms. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. Well, Kentucky woman, she's already been sentenced to 5 life sentences. That's what I mean. It's pretty much a freaking joke. She is. I guarantee she's going to. She's going to think she's so damn cute. Because really, I mean, she really has nothing to lose, right? So the only thing that this is about is her getting to put on a show. So she'll be able to stand up there at the podium, say some stupid shit, but inevitably, I guarantee she's going to open a can of worms that is going to screw her in the ass. I'm sure of it. But that's all this is about. That's it. No, she has nothing to lose. Well, then again, Jesus has already showed her that her and Chad are both going to be exonerated. They're both going to, Jesus already showed her that they're together after this and not in jail. I don't know what kind of shit she's got on her finger there for that wedding ring. Who knows? It's nothing but a show. That's all it is. Oh, does it really? Try me? Oh, goodness. Yeah, he needs to get in there. Right. That's what I'm saying. I've literally heard a lot of people actually talk about this as if this has something to do with the LDS faith. I've told you guys, I don't know their doctrine. I'm not going to pretend that I do. This is not it, though. It's not. I mean, the sad thing is they didn't tend to denounce a lot of the nonsense that Chad was doing, but whatever. I don't know that they ever, and that was kind of before people were just dropping off like flies. But this is nobody's doctrine. No. And the way that you can still look like you're this, you talk to Jesus and, everything's all great, and you don't actually have to own up to anything, is to act like this is all about, God. Right. It is, no, I don't know about the whole zombie thing. See, that's what I'm saying. I don't, I can promise that I don't know their doctrine. I don't. I have never said that I mean, but I just know that I know a lot of LDS. I don't know anybody who says shit like this. I mean, and killing people is not part of any any right. Oh, absolutely. Right, that's what I mean. I know a ton of them. I grew up here too. Yeah, there's I've seen them do a lot of really good things. I hear bad things about their doctrine, but I never heard that they just kill people. I've never heard that kind of shit. They 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 got rid of people that benefited them financially. That's not part of any religious doctrine. She doesn't believe what she's saying, and I don't believe that any religion um believes that. I've never been anywhere where they acted like that. And I mean, it's not like they're all out there killing people, it's just her and old man tits, right? And it just seemed to suit them. Everybody that died benefited them financially. That's just a fact. I mean, I don't know. I never heard of people saying, I don't know. She says that Tammy comes to visit her every day, her friend Tammy. Shut up. That is maybe one of the most disrespectful things that she says that I really could just slap the shit out of her for. She's not you were not Tammy's friend. That's very sick and disrespectful. Of course it is. It's gross as shit. Tammy is gone because there's 400 and some $1,000 in life insurance. And I'm pretty sure old pussy ass fucking man tits wasn't even gonna divorce her. He actually wasn't going to do that. Because he's a pussy. Because the two of these two didn't actually kill anybody. They conspired to kill everyone. They didn't get their hands dirty. I'm so glad that that part of it is not working out for them. They're still convicted of it because they absolutely were part of it. But everything that happened to Tammy, including the so-called paintball gun, all that stuff, Alex was right there every time. And the night she died of natural causes because she was, overweight and out of shape. Hateful people are sick and gross. He was there that night too. Mantitz didn't do none of this by himself. Look, and he couldn't even make a decent fake call to the mortuary. I mean, he all but said his own name, what took like one letter out. And he was so dumb about it. Yeah, my uncle. Worthless as tits on a boar hog. I'm telling you, that's a damn fact about him. All he did was reap all the benefits, all the financial benefits out of this shit. Dable. Okay, I was going to say, right. He could not even pull any of that. None of it. It was so dumb. You guys remember when she said the other night, when she gets exonerated, maybe she'll be on Dancing with the Stars. See, that kind of stuff actually angers me. No, but it was very close. It was something like that. Yeah, it totally was. I know. She said, you're like, just shut your mouth right here and right now. you're not going to be exonerated because you're guilty as shit. Secondly, I will play hell your ass would ever be on Dancing with the Stars. I just won't even have that. And I actually have never watched that show. Don't actually give two fucks about it. I cannot with her, though. No, I get it. Oh my God. It is so disrespectful, though. It really is. It makes me feel so bad for Tammy. All of it. Charles, everybody. It really breaks my heart for Colby. Okay. I mean, all these people, and she gets it. You know, can you imagine how much it pisses me off? The way these people have to watch her do this shit. I can't imagine. I know. I'm right there with you. I know. Me too, Jerry. I know. Just watching her in there today, I just want to pinch her and slap her and punch her, pull her hair out of her head, like everything. I can't believe we saw her list, though. That's awesome. I'm very happy about that. I know it's so hard to even listen, and it is hard to watch it because you're just like, stop it right now. Stop it. The hell are you laughing at? Right. Yeah, I'm very happy I went today. I'm very happy and I'm super excited that I met Nate and Justin. But yeah, I'm going to be good to not have to look at her in person ever again. Yeah, I got another live starting soon. We got to look at the babies. Yep. The palate cleanser. If they are found guilty of conspiracy, their asses are gone. Yeah, she already has been found guilty of conspiracy on her 2 children and Chad's wife, on Tammy Daybell. Yep. That's why I said she has nothing to lose. So this is all a show. I mean, like I said, who can you even imagine this? That emotional utterance. Just hearing that makes me want to slap her. I know. It's crazy. I know, isn't that wild? It is a joke. It is. Mm-hmm. Charles was the first one killed. Well, that anybody's doing anything about. Quite frankly, her sister and her ex-husband, Joe Ryan, those don't drive for me. Now, her sister, I feel like she probably knew about it. Of course, she always keeps her hands clean. But I believe 100% she was involved in Joe Ryan's death. You'll never talk me out of that. And you're never going to talk me into Alex Cox's death being natural. I don't care what they say. There's something crazy with that. It's just way too convenient. It was way too convenient. Right. Yeah, I'll never buy that. I don't care what anybody says. Even, the police have said, like the police from Rexburg and stuff have said, they have to go along with what, they've been told from authorities in Arizona. I'm not going along with it. Authorities in Arizona didn't do shit about Charles until they killed other people. 4 more people were dead and another attempted murder before they did anything about this. And Charles was the first one dead. And he actually told them, she's going to kill me. I mean, give me a break. Exactly right. Right. Right, Jerry. Obviously, I have no knowledge. Shit. Yep. I don't believe in conveniences or coincidence. No way. No way. No how. Okay, we're going to end this. I'm coming right back because we do have to watch these babies. They are so precious, you guys. I'm dying to do this. And I'm sorry I have not been here. I really have been feeling like crap. But I'm going to end this right now. I'm coming right back. 3 gorgeous babies. We got to do this. All right. Thanks, guys. I'll see you in a minute. Love you.